What's going on, guys? Ryan O'Toole back here again, giving you guys another top 10 list. That is right, guys. With the release of Ready Player One coming out on March 29th, I figure it's the perfect time to give you guys a top 10 list that I've always wanted to do. He's my favorite director of all time. That is, I'm going to be giving you guys my top 10 personal favorite Steven Spielberg directed movies. Steven Spielberg, we can all agree that he's one of the greatest filmmakers of all time. I mean, this guy pumps out nothing but gold. He has made some stinkers in the past, but Steven Spielberg is an incredible director. So that's why I'm not doing this top 10 list alone. I have a good buddy here who's also a fan of Spielberg. You may know him from Rotten or Fresh. He's part of the group that thinks is going to take down my show called The Evolution. He's the leader of it, the villain. That is Adam Daly. Adam, introduce yourself, buddy.
What's going on, Ryan? Thank you so much for having me on the channel. My name is Adam with Almost Sideways. Today we're going to put all animosities aside. Today we're just going to talk about Steven Spielberg. I'm really excited to be on your channel doing this collaboration. And yeah, I'm really good to be talking about some films with you.
Awesome, man. I'm looking forward to doing this top 10 list. This was extremely difficult to do. But before we get started with the top 10 list, guys, I got to throw something out there. This is a personal list, okay? These are our favorite Spielberg movies. We're all going to have different opinions. I know Adam's going to have some different rankings. Adam, since you're my guest, I'll let you go first. Give me your honorable mentions.
All right, so my honorable mentions, to give you guys a little fair warning, there's 4 films that I had not seen of Spielberg's that I know would probably make my top 10, or at least 2 of these would be. One of them is Schindler's List. Close Encounters of the Third Kind, haven't watched that yet. The Color Purple and Empire of the Sun, haven't seen those ones. I really want to. And I have seen 21 of Spielberg's films, but my honorable mentions would be War of the Worlds starring Tom Cruise, Hook starring Robin Williams, and The Terminal starring Tom Hanks, and possibly, depending on the day, artificial intelligence, but most likely not, though.
Yeah, I can see where you're coming from, man. Alright, I only have 3 honorable mentions, because just like Adam, there's a couple of Spielberg movies that I know are considered classics that I still have not seen yet. I have not seen Schindler's List, and I've not seen Lincoln. Those are the major Spielberg films that I have not seen yet. So I have 3 honorable mentions, and they are Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom, Bridge of Spies, and Close Encounters of the Third Kind. Those are my 3 honorable mentions. So, Adam, let's get started with the list. What's your number 10?
Well, coming in at number 10 on my list is a film called Lincoln, starring Daniel Day-Lewis. Now, I think Daniel Day-Lewis does a great job portraying this character, and it takes place near the end of his presidency, right? He's trying to pass this bill, and it is a very well-shot film, really good, portrayal, and I really love the production design, the costumes, everything about the film is pretty top-notch. A lot of big-name actors in the film as well. For me, the reason why it's in number 10, there's a lot of good stuff to like about it. It's just a little slower. It's kind of one of those one-and-done type of movies where you watch it once, appreciate what Spielberg gives you, and kind of just, that's all I really have to say about it. It's kind of a courtroom drama at times as well, but the big standout, the reason why you watch this film is because the direction by Steven Spielberg is on point and the performance by Daniel Day-Lewis. But Lincoln is a solid choice at number 10 in my opinion.
Good choice, man. Good choice. I still need to see that movie. But coming in at number 10 for me is, I guarantee most of Spielberg fans are not going to have in their top 10 list. Some might not have heard of this, maybe some of them. But coming in at number 10, I have Duel. Now, Adam, I don't know if you know what Duel is, but I think this is Spielberg's first directed movie. It's a made-for-TV movie. He had a $450,000 budget making it, Spielberg. And the whole movie is about this guy, Dennis Weaver. He's about to go to work on a business trip. He's driving a car out in the middle of nowhere in the desert, I assume. And he's getting followed by this old rigged oil truck. And the more that Dennis Weaver's character's starting to notice that this truck is getting closer and closer to him, all because his character, Dennis Weaver, drives past him on a solid white yellow line. And it leads into one of the most intense car chase movies I have ever seen in my entire life. This movie is fantastic. It is a Spielberg film that I think everybody needs to see. The movie is shot making you not see the truck driver at all. The truck driver is not at all seen in this movie. That's what makes it even scarier. I love Duel. I think it's very underrated. And Adam, if you haven't seen it yet, I highly recommend checking it out.
I have not seen that movie, but I just wrote it down on my piece of paper here, so I'll be checking that one out. Sounds really interesting, kind of really like what you were describing to me, so that's a solid choice at number 10. My number 9 film is a film that's so underrated. Critical. It's such a shame that this one is not going to get a sequel, and that is The Adventures of Tintin. This is an animated film, it's a beautiful film, and it's a really good adventure film. Andy Serkis is in it as well, and just from start to finish, it's one of those adventure films I just get so engaged in. I'm blown away by the animation. Really good set pieces in the film and really good voice talent as well. And this came out the same day as The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo in theaters, and I loved both of those films. And I think The Adventure of Tintin is probably one of my personal, what I feel is Spielberg's underrated film as well, because I think this is, now I could be wrong, I think this is his only animated film that he's directed. But Tintin, I wish you were getting a sequel. I know it was rumored for quite a long time. But unfortunately, I don't think we're going to get it. But Tintin is for sure my number 9 best Spielberg film.
Wow, that's another Spielberg film I have not seen yet, but I want to check that film out. I know Peter Jackson's involved, but I'm excited to check that film out. Good pick, Adam. All right, coming in at number 9 for me is another sequel to an iconic franchise that some people think this is the best in the franchise. I love this film. And that's Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. In the Indiana Jones franchise that introduced Sean Connery as Indy's father, Dr. Henry Jones Sr. This is an awesome movie. The action is phenomenal in Last Crusade. I love the story arc. I just love how the movie opens, where we see River Phoenix playing a young Indiana Jones and finding the Holy Grail. As we know, the Holy Grail is what they're trying to find in this movie. And Indiana Jones, Harrison Ford once again knocks it out of the park. Sean Connery, fantastic as Indy's father. Just love their banners back and forth and that father-son relationship in this movie. And one of my favorite scenes in the film by far is when Indiana Jones comes face to face with Adolf Hitler and he gets an autograph. That's one of the best scenes in the entire franchise right there. So, Last Crusade, I could definitely see why this is mostly some people's favorite Indiana Jones film, but my favorite is another one I'm going to talk about later. But Last Crusade, freaking awesome. Whoosh.
Yeah, I know you're a huge fan of The Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. Looking forward to hearing your thoughts on that one.
Yeah.
But no, I'm going to jump right into this. Number 8 for me is also The Last Crusade. This is a great film. I love the dynamic between Harrison Ford and Sean Connery, like you were saying. It's just fantastic. I absolutely love this. Growing up, this was actually one of my favorite Indiana Jones films. I think Raiders and the Last Crusade are pretty much neck and neck. On a given day, they could swap places, but The Last Crusade today is going to fall at number 8 for me. It's still so enjoyable. Like I said, the chemistry between the leads, the whole cast is fantastic. What I really liked about this one compared to the other Indiana Jones films is that third act. There was actually different puzzles and challenges they had to get through to get to the Holy Grail. And I think that kind of sets it apart from the other Indiana Jones films and seeing those actually play out, because I remember watching this when I was younger. And that very first, every single trap really scared me, because I was like, is Indiana Jones going to die here? I was pretty scared when I was like 10 years old when I was watching this. Now, of course, it's just comes across as a lot of fun for me. And I really appreciated what the new Tomb Raider film did, because I felt like the third act of that film was very reminiscent to The Last Crusade. So definitely Crusade is a great Spielberg movie, great sequel to, and it comes at number 8 for me.
Awesome ranking. Awesome pick, man. All right, coming in at number 8 for me is I don't get the hate from the critics on this movie. It's got a 30 or 29% on Rotten Tomatoes. I don't get it. Coming in at number 8 is Hook. I hate Peter Pan. Hook. Hook's an awesome movie. Fantastic. The best Peter Pan adaptation, close to the original Peter Pan, the animated version. Love this movie. Robin Williams is Robin Williams. He steals every single scene as Peter Pan in this movie. I love Dustin Hoffman as Captain Hook, and I love Rufio. I love all the characters in this movie and the songs and just feeling like you're watching a Peter Pan movie all over again, going to Neverland, and just being a kid again. That's what this movie does a great job of. Eating imaginary food, the action sequences are fantastic, and just Robin Williams' charismatic performance is just amazing. So, Hook, don't get the hate from the critics, but I'm glad that everyone loves Hook, because it's a great film.
Yeah, this is definitely where I'm confused by the critics as well. And don't forget Julia Roberts as Tinkerbell, another good addition. And it's a darker tone, darker Peter Pan film, so definitely like that one as well. And number seven on my list is a film that I'm going to get a lot of comments probably about, and that is going to be Jurassic Park. Jurassic Park is going to fall at number 7 for me, and it's really such a shame that I'm putting it this low because it deserves to be in my top 5 for sure. I know, I can see you already, Ryan, looking at me like I'm crazy. The top 7 films for me, I think these are the cream of the crop of Spielberg films, and Jurassic Park, what they was able to do is have special effects that still hold up to this day in 2018. And talk about a great year in cinema for Spielberg, because this year Jurassic Park came out, also Shawshank Redemption came out, and he just blew. That's where he blew up as a director. He was making great projects, and Jurassic Park, what it does for me is makes my imagination run wild. That I can actually go to a park where I can see these dinosaurs who have been extinct for millions of years or thousands of years, whatever you want to think. It's just breathtaking to see, and I love the characters of Dr. Alan Grant. This is such a fun film, and of course, the Goldblum is in it as well. Dr. Ian Malcolm is my favorite character in the Jurassic Park film. So, Jurassic Park, sad to say it's at number 7. What is wrong with me, Ryan?
I'm sorry, guys. I'm going to end this collaboration right now, and don't worry, guys. Jurassic Park's higher on my list, but I understand why it's there, man. Good reasons. All right. Coming in at number 7 for me is, I think it's maybe higher on Adam's list, but I love this movie. Again, it's one of Spielberg's underrated films. I think a lot of people have seen it by now. My number 7 is Catch Me If You Can. Catch Me If You Can, fantastic movie right here. Oh my freaking goodness. Catch Me If You Can, fantastic movie. Leonardo DiCaprio, Tom Hanks, Amy Adams, Jennifer Garner, Christopher Walken. The cast is absolutely phenomenal in this film. Just love Leonardo DiCaprio as Frank Abagnale Jr. He's a villain that you love. I mean, Leonardo DiCaprio, this villain reminds me of his character from The Wolf of Wall Street, Jordan Belfort. Just a villain that you connect with. I mean, how could a freaking scam artist do this type of shit? And he's just such a lovable character. Tom Hanks in this movie is awesome as the detective trying to hunt down Leo in this film. Leonardo DiCaprio, he's just all these different types of people, and he's getting away with it, being a scam artist, making a ton of money. It's absolutely great. The writing in this movie is brilliant. Steven Spielberg, one of his best directed films, and it's an amazing film. Catch Me If You Can comes in at number 7.
Oh, that's a great pick there, Ryan. Is Leonardo DiCaprio a villain in this film, or is he a hero? Is he a guy that we want to be? Of course he is, But I absolutely love this film too. You said I have it higher. It actually falls in at my number 6 spot. I was going back and forth between Jurassic Park and Catch Me If You Can, and today Catch Me If You Can won out because I'm a huge Leonardo DiCaprio fan. I think everything that he does is really good. Maybe not The Beach so much, but I really love this film. I think this film and one other film I'll talk about a little bit later has been one of Steven Spielberg's best directed films in the last, decade and a half. I think that Catch Me If You Can does a really good job of making you compelled by this guy who's doing quote-unquote bad things and gets you sympathetic to what he's feeling. I love the Tom Hanks in this film. This is probably one of Tom Hanks' best acted films and since the 90s as well. Just everything that you said about this film definitely is deserving to be on the top 10 list. I want to put this up in my top 5. Why does Spielberg have such amazing films? I can't put other ones in the top 5, So, great pick as well.
Regardless, we're still going to get shit for it. But he has a lot of great movies indeed. So, Catch Me If You Can, awesome film. All right, coming in at number 6 for me is Minority Report. Minority Report. Amazing film. Tom Cruise, he's already one of my favorite actors, and Tom Cruise, he's fantastic as John Anderton. I mean, the movie takes place in 2054, this futuristic world. Just love the way the story's told about precognition and 3 precogs solving different murders. Like, they can predict any type of murder, and Tom Cruise has to basically solve these crimes, and it's just really good. The technology in this movie is really good, especially when it came out in 2002. I mean, Tom Cruise, this is one of his best performances to date. Colin Farrell, also great as Danny Whitwer. Really good character indeed. Their back and forth is great. And Steven Spielberg, his direction is fantastic. The script is excellent. The cinematography is beautiful. Minority Report, very thrilling film and very informative. And it comes in at number 6.
Damn it. Why? I forgot.
Oh, he forgot it.
Okay. That's a great film. Coming in number 5 on my list is E.T. I just watched this a few, last week, I believe, and I was blown away by this film. This film still holds up. There's minor, little CGI effects that necessarily don't look as good, but the rest of the film is just breathtaking. I loved all the direction that Spielberg put into this film. Even, the beginning of the movie, there's no dialogue for, 20 minutes or so, but you know exactly what's going on. You know about these characters. You're seeing Elliot with E.T. as well, and seeing his other brother and sister, and they interact with this extraterrestrial. I absolutely get invested in that character. My daughter was able to sit down with me, who's 3 years old, and she sat down and watched the whole entire movie without getting up or being distracted or wanting to do something else. She was super engaged with it, and I think that has something to do with Spielberg's storytelling in this film. I forgot how good this movie was growing up. I hadn't seen it since I was a kid, and I was just blown away by it. So I was like, why didn't I have this movie ranked higher last time I did this ranking a few years ago? So E.T. easily, that experience last week just blew me away and put it in my number 5 spot. And it deserves to be in there for sure.
It totally deserves to be in there, Adam, because the Y Elliot is at my number 5. E.T.'s at my number 5 spot. Everything you just said about this movie is brilliant. E.T.'s fantastic. I haven't seen it in a while, though. That's my only problem. But I just loved this movie when I was a kid. Just loved Elliot in this film, played by Henry Thomas, who's all older now. Fantastic child performance. How could I forget that in my ranking I did with Jay Vader's? My freaking God. Henry Thomas is brilliant. E.T., just a lovable alien creature that looks disgusted, but you care about it. And then the ending. Oh my freaking God. I'll be right here. So brilliant. And John Williams' score is brilliant in this movie. The scene over the moon is iconic. You all know that. And the Reese's Pieces thing. This Reese's Pieces thing always gets me always hyped. When I think of Reese's Pieces, I think of E.T. And that's what this movie does. Spielberg knocked it out of the park with E.T. It's in my top 5. E.
You haven't seen it in quite a long time. I wonder if you had a Blu-ray over your left shoulder so you can maybe watch it again.
I do, yeah. What's wrong with me?
No, that's a great. Awesome to see that we're pretty close in some of these movies. Number 4 for me, Saving Private Ryan. Another collaboration with Tom Hanks. And this is a great epic war film. I remember watching this with my dad when it first came out, and he was explaining it's going to be brutal, and you're going to see some stuff that is not going to be pleasant. And that opening sequence on the beaches of Normandy was very intense. Probably one of the best movie openings of all time, arguably. And seeing this journey from the beaches all the way to save Ryan, to get him out. Just a really emotional journey. You get invested in these characters. Spielberg gets a great performance out of Vin Diesel, of all people. There's all the cast, Barry Pepper, you got Giovanni Ribisi in there, Tom Hanks, a ton of awesome cameos from other big actors like Paul Giamatti, and it's just a big epic film that is so powerful. That third act is another third act that just delivers on all aspects, and also just you can't help but fight back tears at the very end of it because you're seeing the sacrifice that was played out. And definitely it was one of my favorite films, and it's pretty much a shock to me that Shakespeare in Love won Best Picture the year that this film should have won. So this is definitely one of the best picture of that year. So I'm one of Spielberg's best too.
Guys, this list is getting really boring, but because Saving Private Ryan is my number 4. What the hell, Adam? I'm just kidding. Saving Private Ryan, what else needs to be said that hasn't already been said? Saving Private Ryan is the best war movie, in my opinion. The scenes in this movie, the opening scene in Normandy, some of the scariest shit I've ever seen. It scarred me for life. It's why I never want to be in war, and it's scary. It really is. Blood, guts, and gore. Spielberg, the way he crafted this film in that opening battle is one of the best opening shots I've ever seen in film, and one of the best openings for sure of all time. It's brilliant. It's brutal, violent, and it makes you never want to be there. And it's completely realistic. I mean, why did Dunkirk not have more amazing, brilliant fight scenes like Saving Private Ryan? Because every shot in this movie is perfection. I mean, Tom Hanks is fantastic in the film. Matt Damon, fantastic. Vin Diesel also is really good in this film. Everybody in this film gives a phenomenal performance and just makes you feel like you're at this event going on in Saving Private Ryan. It's absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, I totally get your thoughts on Dunkirk a little bit because I'm kind of in the same boat with you, but this is just a great film overall, and hopefully my number 3 pick is not the same as you. We're going to try this out.
Ooh, I hope so. This will be boring if it is. I'm just... What's your number 3, Adam?
Number 3 is a little film called Raiders of the Lost Ark. This is the very first Indiana Jones film, and this is the introduction of that character. That opening shot when he walks out through the forest and into that cave is just a fantastic opening. Another opening that delivers on all aspects as well. I absolutely enjoy this film so much. This is a fantastic adventure film that just sparked another imagination for me. This has one of my favorite movie moments of all time when Indiana Jones is escaping the tunnel and that big boulder's rolling after him. It's just brilliant how it starts off, and everything from the set design to the production in this film is fantastic. And I think what sets this what sets this movie above the rest is just the character of Indiana Jones. The swagger that Harrison Ford brings to this role. He feels like this character. When you think of Indiana Jones, you don't think of it as a Harrison Ford film. You think of it as this guy who is going after the Ark of the Covenant, and it's awesome to see it play out. And it's such an awesome adventure film that I absolutely thoroughly enjoy.
Yes! Thank freaking goodness we don't have the same order. Yeah, awesome pick, man. Awesome pick. Raiders is phenomenal. You'll see that a little soon. But coming in at number 3, I'll give you guys a hint. Let's start the music. It's right behind me. Jaws comes in at number 3. Jaws. Freaking incredible. What else needs to be said? Jaws is amazing. Oh my god. Roy Scheider, Richard Dreyfuss, Robert Shaw, amazing group. Chief Brody, Matt Hooper, and Quint. Some of the best lead characters you've seen in films to date. And the shark in this movie is fucking terrifying. Pardon my language, but it is terrifying. It scarred me for life when I first saw it. The opening scene scarred me for life. I'm afraid to go swimming now at a beach because of Jaws. I mean, that's a cliche to say that, but it's true. This movie is brilliant. One of the best horror suspense films of all time. And Spielberg, the hardships he had making this movie is brilliant. And it paid off in a brilliant way because Jaws is one of Spielberg's best and is one of the best horror suspense thrillers of all time.
We're going to need a bigger boat. That's my number 2 as well. That's my number 2. Jaws, man. I absolutely love this film so much. This is a great film. Everything that you said about this movie is fantastic. This is actually a movie that has scarred me for life, too. I do not like sharks. I do not like swimming in the water. I actually went on a trip to Hawaii on my senior year, and I was so afraid that trip to go in the water, but I figured, I was like, I paid for this trip. Might as well go in there. But I was always like checking my back for sharks because of Jaws. And I think the beautiful thing about this film was that we didn't get to see the shark. Now, originally, I think that they wanted to show more of Bruce the shark in this film, but unfortunately, it didn't work out the way they wanted to. But the way they shot it, this film played out so much better because we didn't see them, and that's the fear of the unknown, seeing something that is not there, or our minds imagining different things. That's what Jaws was for me, and still is. I can still watch this film and still get startled and still be on edge because of how brilliant this film is directed. I went to see a movie last year called 47 Meters Down. Now, a lot of people might not like that movie or have fun with that, but that movie actually did kind of give me the chills because of my fear of sharks that spawned from the first Jaws film. And that's just a testament to Steven Spielberg's direction. And I absolutely just think that this is one of the best horror films, one of the best creature features, just one of the best Spielberg films as well.
All right, let's talk a little bit about Raiders of the Lost Ark, and it's my number 2. Raiders of the Lost Ark is my number 2. Raiders of the Lost Ark is the best Indiana Jones movie, no questions asked. If you ask from a critical perspective and fan perspective, about 99% of Indiana Jones fans say this is the best indie film. I mean, Raiders of the Lost Ark, it is one of the best action movies of all time. Harrison Ford as Indiana Jones, of course, one of the greatest heroes of all time. And this movie is just iconic. The boulder scene, one of my favorite openings of all time. Absolutely well executed. Looks completely realistic, like you're in that boulder scene in the moment with Harrison Ford and Alfred Molina, which is brilliant. And I just love the German Nazis in this film, trying to get the Ark of the Covenant. And it's just riveting from start to finish. I love Karen Allen as Marion, the best Indiana Jones love interest. She's brilliant. And just the story all in all. The ending to this movie scarred me. It really did. It's really creepy stuff, and it's just a brilliant ending. Raiders of the Lost Ark, amazing, baby. Whoosh.
So what do you do with the most powerful ancient artifact of all time? You store it in a warehouse. But I was kind of teasing you about my number 1. I said I forgot a movie, but I didn't. So my number 1 pick is my favorite Spielberg movie of all time. That is Minority Report, or what I like to call Murder. Minority Report for me might be a weird choice to put as my favorite Spielberg movie. So I'll try to do my best to explain why I have it up here. First off, this is another film that definitely scared me because the murderer in this film, when I was younger, when this first came out, I would look outside my window and I think my mind would play tricks on me. I was like, there he is right there. He's in the shadows. It would scare me, and it did scar me a little bit when I first watched this one. But as I grew up and appreciated film a little more, I realized that Spielberg got a great performance out of Tom Cruise and the whole entire cast. It was a very compelling storyline that I wanted to see play out further and further, and making this this kind of unique world as well, where you can have these precogs see into the future about these murders that could take place, and they might have a minority report, they might not. And having one of the people that go out and try to catch these would-be murderers and have it flipped on its head where he's actually the one being chased down and he's going out of his way to try to solve his own possible murder and see if he has a minority report, and seeing that the other layer of it, as well as the main villain, is actually trying to bring out the murderer out of him. It's such compelling storytelling with great character development that definitely makes you on edge, and I absolutely loved all the different layers this film had. The special effects still hold up, and I think this did get like one Oscar nomination for sound. I think it's very criminally that it did not get more, because I think this is one of Spielberg's most underrated films that's definitely underappreciated and kind of forgotten as well, which is sad. It came out in like the early 2000s, I think like 2002, don't quote me on the year, but Tom Cruise in this one is fantastic. This is by far my favorite film of his, and that Max von Sydow in this film, how can you not be creeped out by him as well? So definitely is my favorite Spielberg film.
Fantastic choice, man. Fantastic choice. You got me there. All right, coming in at number 1 for me, if you haven't guessed by now, it's right behind me. If you haven't guessed by now, it's Jurassic Park. Jurassic Park has always been my favorite Spielberg movie ever since I was a child. I love dinosaurs because of Jurassic Park. Everything about this film is flawlessly done, flawlessly directed, flawlessly acted. I mean, everything that Jurassic Park did for science fiction in general is just amazing. And making photorealistic dinosaurs come to life. I mean, it looked real. I thought that T-Rex was freaking real. That's how good it was. And the performances, Sam Neill, Laura Dern, Jeff Goldblum, fantastic. Just like you, Ian Malcolm's my favorite by far. Richard Attenborough and the kids in this movie were fantastic. And the score by John Williams, and just making you feel like you're at that park throughout the entire film. Only Spielberg can make that look realistic. And just the scenes in this movie, what they do, make you feel invested in the overall story that no other sci-fi films can do today. Not even the Jurassic Park sequels did it successfully like this film did. My favorite Spielberg film by far, Jurassic Park, amazing.
That's a great number one pick as well, and like I said, I want to move it up higher on my list, and I think if I do this list tomorrow with you, it would be moved up higher because Jurassic Park has that timeless factor, and it's one of those films that definitely is timeless. It's not it's one of those films that will always be bound to Spielberg. That if you think Spielberg, you're gonna think of Jurassic Park probably at the top of his list, or Indiana Jones. For me, I want to put it higher as well, and it's sad that it's at number 7, but that just proves how great a director Spielberg was. And even Jurassic Park 2, The Lost World, there's still stuff in there that you can still enjoy and still get that kind of feeling of the original Jurassic Park. It's not nearly the same quality by any means, but it's still just the magic of the Spielberg and the magic of the world of Jurassic Park. So that's a great pick at number 1.
I totally agree with you, Adam. There you have it, guys. That is our top 10 personal favorite Steven Spielberg movies of all time. I want to thank my good buddy Adam for joining me once again on my channel to do this collaboration, man. We're both excited for Ready Player One. We're very excited to check it out. And Adam, real quickly, tell my subscribers where we can find you on your social media.
Well, you guys can find me here at Almost Sideways here on YouTube. I do reviews, reactions, and rankings. I also have a brand new show, or my second episode of my new show, in honor of Ready Player One, dropping this next week. It's called Movie Recommendations, where my friends Rudy of Rudy's Movie Reviews and Levi from Garage Movie Reviews will be giving you our recommendations for the 1980s movies, so definitely check that out as well. And I'm also on Twitter at Adam Sideways. Would love to have you guys come over and join the conversation. Again, Ryan, this is always an honor to be on your channel talking movies. Until next time, I will see you in Rotten or Fresh and in other videos. See you later, guys.
Thank you, as always, for watching this video. And if you guys liked it, give it a thumbs up. And be sure to subscribe today. Go subscribe to Adam from Almost Sideways. His channel link is in the description below. As always, guys, all my social media links are in the description below. Click that notification bell on your way out. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!
Bye!